Simon Guobadia breaks down over being betrayed by Porsha Williams for money back.
Question just showed up. It said, you said she cheated, but you blame everything on her. What about you? Naturally, I didn't blame everything on her. The part that I played in it is that because I hadn't addressed my childhood trauma, I continued to attract the wrong women.
Looks like the Real Housewife of Atlanta star Porsha Williams no longer wants to be Simon Guobadia's housewife. Apparently, Porsha has had enough of Simon's cat and mouse chase with the law and finally filed for divorce. But her husband of 15 months and the self-made entrepreneur and, I'm guessing, a regular at their local police station, Simon, feels rather cheated by Porsha. Why is Simon Guobadia losing his cool over Porsha leaving him? Is the Real Housewife of Atlanta star really getting money for betraying her husband? Let's have a look at all the messy details, guys. Just a year ago, Porsha Williams and Simon Guobadia started their whirlwind romance. Their romance was even more dramatic than its inevitable end, if I may say so. Simon appeared on The Housewives during the 13th season. Not to shock you or anything, but he wasn't there as Porsha's husband, but as her friend, Penis. The two got divorced less than a week later. He put a ring on Porsha. According to the two, they had been dating for a month. Pretty suspicious, isn't it? Just a month after dating, the question had been popped, and in no time, their two were locked in. Now, I'm not trying to be a pessimist, but if someone rushes to marry you in a month, you should probably check their citizenship status just in case. Apparently, the two were oh so in love, making declarations of being each other's soulmates, and they were the perfect match for each other. Simon was sure they checked all of each other's boxes and then some. For Porsha, marrying Simon meant choosing happiness every day and night, but this happiness was rather short-lived. And now, 15 months later, Porsha wants nothing to do with her Nigerian boo. Turns out Simon is no Prince Charming. His colorful past has made its way to the news, and turns out Porsha's now ex has quite a lot of history with the police. Despite making it look like he is an American citizen, Simon doesn't actually have a citizenship. In fact, he has overstayed his visas multiple times during his 42 years in America. The businessman first came to America in 1982 and ended up overstaying his visitor visa. 3 years later, he applied for a citizenship and was obviously rejected and declared deportable. At this point, Simon had no option but to leave voluntarily. This hiccup wasn't enough to dissuade him, as just a year later, he came back to America and again overstayed his visa. At this time, he was forcefully deported. I guess the authorities underestimated his resilience because the Nigerian businessman was back again in no time. I'm not saying he hasn't made an effort to do things the right way. He applied for citizenship, but it got rejected by the US government. Not shocking considering all the fraud allegations. But when it got rejected, he went ahead and illegally got himself a green card. Another feather on Simon's hat are his identity theft allegations. He used various aliases to apply for temporary resident status under the Social Agricultural Worker SAW program. And what's surprising is that it actually worked, and he ended up having his application accepted despite omitting his criminal record and misrepresenting his identity. Now, tell me if I'm wrong, but doesn't it sound like a plot from a movie? Simon ended up becoming a permanent resident just 26 days after he had been deported under his other disclosed identity for overstaying the visa. Believe it or not, that's not the end of his criminal run-ins with the law. In fact, Simon also has a number of fraud allegations. He reportedly pleaded guilty to bank and credit card fraud. The news about the newlyweds already getting divorced is quite a shock, just as rushed as their engagement and wedding were. The two have also decided to get a divorce. Well, technically, that's not true. Porsha has decided that this Nigerian con artist is too much for her and has decided to file for divorce. Turns out, Simon is as clueless as the rest of us, and frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if he got to know about his crumbling marriage through the tabloids as well. It could also be that the businessman just doesn't want to give us the satisfaction of seeing him surprised and caught off guard, so he is pretending that this sudden dissolution of marriage doesn't affect him at all. Yeah, right. Simon is trying his best not to flame the fires by making any comment over these allegations, but he couldn't stop himself from giving revealing a tiny hint of the situation. He posted a video of himself in a golf cart with a cigar in hand and included the hashtag 42 years living in America. Way to announce to the world just how long you have been overstaying in America. The divorce doesn't look like a light decision on Porsha's part. Even though the two had been dating only a month when they decided to tie the knot, Porsha seemed to throw herself into her marriage. She even left her hit show, The Real Housewives of Atlanta, after her marriage. Now, this might have been a sign for what is to come, but just before announcing that she's moved on from this marriage to Guobadia, Porsha announced that she was returning to the reality show after her 3-year hiatus. Some people are saying this could just be a distraction for her in order to deal with the fact that her marriage fell apart as early as it did. Some also think this is her way of telling the world that she is okay and in control despite the wreck in her home life. Now that Simon might be getting deported again, there have been quite a few speculations regarding the reason of divorce. Could it be that Porsha realized where the tide was turning and wanted to get as far away from this notorious man as quickly as possible? After all, who would want to get their hands dirty and destroy their life and career over someone else's decisions? It looks like that is what Porsha is thinking too, although the actress has denied that the two things are related to each other at all. Sources close to the couple keep saying that the divorce has nothing to do with these deportation rumors, but honestly, that is a little hard to believe, isn't it? So, what exactly is Simon thinking now that his wife has abandoned ship and technically left him stranded to deal with his own mess? He hasn't put up a statement so far. If anything, he's trying his best to look unbothered on his social media pages. But I won't be surprised if he is actually furious with the reality television star. The internet is having a field day over this recent development in Simon Guobadia's life. Mostly, everyone is just surprised at the fact that this man has managed to build a whole life in America and got married to a celebrity after all his criminal records and deportation fiasco. You would think that a man with this record would want to lay low and not try to be prominent, but Simon seems to be pretty fearless in this matter. After all, he has quite the experience when it comes to getting deported and coming right back. The deportation isn't a new problem in Simon's life. He has already gone through this multiple times before, but having his wife abandon him and give up on the marriage will be a first. I wouldn't be surprised to find out he is actually having a breakdown over this betrayal by his wife. It also feels like a shock for the man. Just weeks ago, the two seemed like the happiest couple, posting each other's pictures on their social media accounts and looking inseparable. But now the truth has come out. Under this perfect exterior, a lot was brewing as the couple dealt with not just Simon's fraud allegations, but also the crumbling marriage. Just weeks ago, Simon was Porsha's ride or die, or at least that's what she said he was. Imagine Simon's shock when he realized that's just something people say on their Instagram captions and do not actually mean it. So, was Porsha really unaware of the true face of the man she had married? Days before the divorce rumors, the two posted about each other, writing cheesy captions and appearing happy and in love. That really makes you wonder whether Porsha really heard the allegations about her husband for the first time. A lot of sources have said that the reality star had no idea about her husband's shady past. This is a little hard to believe. I mean, how hard is it to Google the person you are getting married to? Especially considering the short time in which their relationship ascended to marriage. Porsha really should have taken her time to do a proper background check to find out who her husband really is. Some people also think she knew everything and has only now decided to dump him after realizing that this time he is going to get caught and severely punished for his crimes. Now, I'm not really sure about this. If she knew beforehand, wouldn't she be aware of the risk of what she was getting into? Is Porsha really as innocent as she seems? Some fans have a really interesting take on the matter. They think it was all a ploy on Porsha's part, starting from her relationship with a man in a relationship with her friend, to the sudden and fast engagement and marriage, the immigration, and divorce scandal. All this paired with the fact that these scandals are keeping her relevant and giving a boost to her career, including a spin-off with Simon and Dennis, an NBC production deal, and a fat check for returning to The Real Housewives. All these things really make one wonder if she is as innocent as she seems. If this is true, I'm surprised by Porsha's skill and creativity. People are calling her the Duchess of Deception. Some even think that Porsha and Simon could have been the perfect match, considering their abilities to con people. After all, what's The Real Housewives without the tea and the drama? Whether Porsha knew about the allegations regarding Simon or not, one thing is certain. This woman has refused to go down with him. In fact, she is making the best of the circumstances and getting as much money out of it as possible. Not only did she manage to get a higher contract on the latest season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, but she also got herself a safety net that will help her pay the legal fees in order to get her divorce proceedings in order. This whole drama also created extra marketing for the reality show, and I won't be surprised if she gets paid extra for all the drama she's bringing to the show. No wonder Simon is upset with Porsha. He can finally see the truth about his relationship, which people on the internet have been predicting for quite some time now. Porsha has managed to make money out of Simon's distress, and he is left on his own. So far, he hasn't aired his true feelings about the end of his marriage or Porsha's betrayal, but it isn't hard to imagine what his feelings are on the matter. The Nigerian scammer finally got scammed, and this time, none other than the queen of reality TV, Porsha Williams. By the looks of it, Simon will be going back to Nigeria, while Porsha will get her bag and her cash in on the story. That's it for today, guys. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you can get the latest news. Until next time, take care and goodbye.